All right, welcome everybody. We're going to get started in just a moment here. I'm going to be joined by a couple of individuals. In fact, I need to find them on here real quick and make sure that I make them a panelist. So give me just 1 second here. There's Patty and Jeff. Oops, not here. Sorry. All right. Patty and Jeff are now panelists, so they can now speak, which is fantastic because they are our special guest tonight. And we're gonna, let me close this just a little bit. Sorry guys, 1 second.
Go to gallery view so you can see everybody. Can you see anything else?
All right, there we go. There's Patty and Jeff. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. All right. If you haven't already told us where you're coming in from, go ahead and let us know. And we're going to get started with these two in just 1 second. Hearing a little bit more about them and their journey, and I know I'm excited about it, and I think we have a lot of people who are. So we'll give it another 15 seconds or so. Who do we have? Hello from Arizona. Oh, right by you guys. From Rupert, Idaho. From Casper, Wyoming. Redmond, Washington. Chicago. All over the country. Calgary into Canada. Good. All right. Well, let's get this started. Welcome to the Wednesday webinar, everyone. We are very excited to have you on. Thanks for joining us. And a special thanks to our special guest, who I'm going to introduce in just a moment. But before I do, just a couple of housekeeping items. The convention cash countdown has ended. I went through March 31st. It's over. We had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of qualifiers. What's going to happen is, as a qualifier, you're going to receive half of your money in the March commissions, and then the other half you'll receive if you come to convention. So that is a bonus. The payout is in your commissions, and the bonus is when you come to convention and you cross that stage and take the money from Mr. Kirk Hansen's hands, which will be a lot of fun. So if you haven't already registered your convention ticket, register it. If you haven't bought your ticket yet, you're crazy. You need to buy it. We want you there. This is going to be a huge, momentous event for Kyani, and we want you there. One last announcement before we get started. We are doing the Spring Swag Giveaway. And at noon Mountain Standard Time every day, we are having a challenge, and you can win swag. You can win logo gear by completing the challenge. And today's was to name 10 of the 22 superfoods in Sunrise. So that was our challenge today. You'll have similar challenges every single day in April. They go live at noon Mountain Standard Time. So make sure to participate in those. Okay, let's get to the call. I'm very excited to introduce these two new people. They're not new people. They're new diamonds, though. I'm excited to introduce these diamonds. I've had the pleasure of getting to know them along their journey. But on March 31st, they became some of Kyani's brand new diamonds. So I want to introduce everyone to Mr. Jeff Accra and Mrs. Patty Montes. How are you guys?
We're doing well. How are you?
I am fantastic, and I am thrilled to be on this call with you today. I want the world, and I want our Kyani family to just get to know you a little bit better, and to get to know your journey, because getting to diamond is not easy. And so I want to start with, if you guys don't mind, just telling us a little bit about your background, a little bit about your story of what you did before you joined Kyani.
Absolutely. I can start. So we have 7 kids between the two of us. We are a blended family, so it's very fun and hectic. I have 3, Jeff has 4, and we love all of them. We have several businesses that we run together as well here in the Valley. I own a digital marketing company along with a merchant services company and other businesses. And I was introduced to Kyani. We were introduced to Kyani by Mrs. Mary Millward a little bit over a year, and I fell in love with all of it just because I love her and I trust her, and I'm so glad that she did. And I'll let Jeff tell you a little bit about his background.
Yeah, my background comes more from the restaurant field. I've been in the restaurant industry for over 20 years. I've also dabbled in a lot of other types of businesses as well. I've created, larger companies companies and sold them, built a lot of them and sold them. So, you know, the business world before, how hectic it was to where it is now, you know, you asked us a question of, you know, we want to hear your journey to Diamond. But I'll tell you how much easier it is, the journey to Diamond, than the journey to a restaurant.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is you weren't exactly sitting around waiting for something when you were approached by Mary, correct?
You know, no. I mean, anyone who's looking for better in life, we never stop looking, you know, and then when we find it, we just work it to death, you know.
But we weren't looking. I actually was, during that time, Jeff was very, very sick for 2 years. So we were just home, really, it kind of like in a desperate situation where we found ourselves, you know, that, oh my goodness, if this happens to us again, if one of us was to get sick again, we might lose everything that we worked so hard for, because during those 2 years, we had to tap into our savings and our retirement just to keep things afloat. I couldn't go to work. I was a 24/7 nurse to Jeff and taking care of the kids. And he was very ill. He couldn't even, you know, get out of bed and things like that. So I was looking for something, but not a business. I was looking for, you know, just to create an impact. We were looking probably for health. And when you ask, you shall receive. And that's when some posts online on Facebook, some attraction marketing from Mrs. Millward really caught my eye. And I started following her journey. No one knew the situation we were in. And I started following it. And then all of a sudden she posted she got a paid-for truck for her husband. And Jeff.
Well, I'm sitting at home losing money, closing stores. And I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how to make money from home. And then I see her posting, hey, I'm getting a free card for it. I'm like, I want a free paid card for it. You know, so
Yeah.
and that's the thing. It's like you said, we're not sitting around waiting for it. We're listening, we're watching. Mm-hmm. And you know, sometimes I think about how much missed opportunity there was just by not asking.
Yeah.
People see, but they don't ask.
Yeah, that's a great point. I want to hit a little bit more on this, on how you were attracted to Mary, because you and Mary did not know each other before. Is that correct?
Well, we did. Yeah, we did for about 10 years. We lived in Detroit together. We met there. We became friends, but then she moved to Utah. I moved to Arizona. We were just kind of staying in touch through Facebook. I did, however, see her 6 months before she joined Kyani on a trip to Idaho to take my daughter to Rexburg. And I stopped at Salt Lake City one Sunday. I checked my Facebook to see who I knew there, and there was Mary. I gave her a call. We talked. I met her kids. By the time she had like tripled her kids since the time that I had seen her. So we met and we talked, and then 6 months later she joined. And I had kind of been following her journey, and I was really surprised how much happier and involved and creating an impact in people's lives and just all of the things that she was doing. And I wanted that for myself. So I kept telling Jeff, hey, you know, my friend Mary is doing so well. I don't know what she's doing, but it sounds amazing. So after the car, Jeff kept
She wouldn't call. And I was like, if you don't call, I'm going to pick up the phone and call her right now. I didn't know Mary. I was like, but I'll call and say, hey, you know, I know you know Patty. I want to know what you got going on. But then she finally said, okay, I'll call. You're not calling.
Yeah. So Mary right away responded with a beautiful picture of her in the room full of people behind her. And she said, oh my goodness, Patty, you're going to love what I have. We're creating so much significance in people's lives and impacting people's lives. You're going to love this. And I'm glad that she shared that with me. And we were exposed to all of the leadership right away with three-way calls. And we talked to the Thornhills, to the Stallards, to David Nieves, and all of them. And we joined that same day. That night, we joined, and we were very happy to have the opportunity that came with that. Yeah.
So you joined the company. Now, going back on your story, because I want to get to Jeff's product story, I absolutely love it. But going back on your story, Jeff at this time is still very sick. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was coming off of my last surgery. I spent the prior 2 years fighting for my life. I contracted a bacteria that was 1 in 6 in the world. I was the only male and only person in the U.S. that had it at the time. So over that 2 years, I had double-digit surgeries, over about 13. Died a few times. Lots of complications, infusing with deadly medications, 3 hours on, 3 hours off for about a year and a half. So I developed a lot of issues when you're on that much medication. So, you know, I was told I'd be on 3 or 4 the rest of my life. I started taking the product, and one thing that really caught me that I knew I had a business in my hands was probably 3 days after I was on the product, but didn't realize for 3 weeks, because, you know, you're kind of like, you don't know what it is at first. So I had fibromyalgia cramps that would keep me up throughout the night. And when I started taking the product, within 3 days, I was sleeping all through the night. And I used to tell my wife, I would pay $1 million for a good night's sleep. Now I pay about $1. So it was a lot cheaper for me when I found the sunset. So that's what really caught me. And then when I realized that it was the product working, I looked at my wife, and it was about 3 weeks after we signed up, and I said, we have a business here. This is what we have. I said, look what it's doing for me. Because when you get into something, you know, I originally got in because there was an opportunity, not even knowing how powerful the products were. And you know, like me, I was just like everyone else. Well, I got to try the product first. Let me see how it works, right? But I'm glad I got in and jumped and said, you know, I'm an opportunist. I like to take opportunity. I jumped in that day. I got in, and I said, I'll try the product. I hope it works. Not even knowing how awesome it worked. But it took me off all my medications, all of them, even the few that I was told I'd be on the rest of my life. And I got off all my opiates right away. I mean, you're talking almost 2 years of heavy medications, and I was able to make a full recovery. I'm healthier today than I've ever been. I was told, you know, I wouldn't really be able to move as well because they took out all my skin and tissue and 40% of my abdominal muscles. So half your core is gone. I'm back in the gym. I'm healthy. We were recently in Chiapas, Mexico. You know, I was working hard, you know, next to Mr. Hansen. He outdid everyone, and I almost killed myself staying next to him. So, you know, I'm glad to say I'm healthier today than I've ever been.
Well, I love that story, and I love what the products have done for you. Like you said, you didn't start this company looking at the products, but as you know, a great company has incredible products or an incredible service, and we have that. So it's absolutely amazing to hear your story and what's happened. And by the way, don't ever ask Jeff to show you pictures of it because it's terrifying. It's not ever worth seeing, but it's amazing where you've come from and where you are today. And you know, Mr. Hansen said the same thing about you, that you were an absolute workhorse in Chiapas. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But you guys did have the opportunity to go to a Carrying Hands trip, which was absolutely incredible. So now tell us, you've been in the business for how long?
15 months.
15. We sound like we just had a baby. 15 months.
15 months. 15 months, 3 days and 4 hours.
I have a 224-month-old in the other room.
Right. Okay, so you've been in the business 15 months. Tell us what have been the ups and downs of the business? We know in this business it's not always ups. So what have you seen that's been great, and what have been some of the surprises that have been challenges for you?
Well, like I said, we run many businesses. I'm in front of the computer all day long. We're used to hard work. We love to work. We're always working. So when I saw, and I build websites for a living, so and apps and things like that. So when I saw the tools that we have here, I got very excited because I was a little bit concerned about adding something else to my schedule. I was already very busy. And I saw the tools and I got excited because I don't have a background in nutrition. I don't have a background in direct sales. I've never sold a thing. I haven't never been approached by any other company. I didn't even know what network marketing was. So I was kind of upset about that because I'm like, how come no one has ever shown me this, this kind of business model? And I've been trying traditional business all my life. I would have killed it at this. So I love the tools that we have for someone like me that is busy, that doesn't have any background in any of this, can just plug it into the system and have success. And I love the leadership because when we first started, again, we don't know what we're doing. We're out in Arizona on our own, but we never were alone. We had, you know, the wonderful Mrs. Mary Millward, the Petersons, the Thornhills, and they were pouring into us and helping us, you know, launch the market and get going. I mean, get going at that time. One of the struggles for me that I would say was coming from a business owner mentality and being a boss. For me, I thought that I had to do it all on my own. I had to explain everything. I ruined a lot of a lot of people just because I wasn't maybe in a way coachable at the beginning. I didn't trust the system that was so simple, because I'm used to everything being complicated and jumping through hurdles and doing all these things. So for me, it was my own struggles. I mean, the company has been amazing. The other thing, I've never been around so many people that you're around all the time. We love to entertain, but it's been fun to learn all these different personalities from different people as you are dealing with so many. So that to me is fun and sometimes challenging, just because you're trying, to deal with so many people and work with them. But we have been very blessed to have a pretty amazing team, that we have business owners, we have, professional people, we have stay-at-home moms. I mean, we're very lucky for what we have. So not a lot of cons, a lot of pros for me. It's been fun. It is job work that is fun, versus, I build a website, is fun. I create something, but then that's it. I deliver it. Here is this constant development in seeing people's progress through either the product or the business. I always say, I wish I would have taken a picture of every single person when they started and where they are now and where we are now, because we even look very different. We're better people. Our relationship is better. We're better parents. Our businesses, we've taken a lot of the tools that we have here and implemented them into our businesses as well. Just so overall, we're just so blessed and so grateful for what we have.
Yeah,
with Kyani.
Absolutely. Well, and you guys have done a fantastic job. Diamond in 15 months, absolutely incredible. And we could talk about the business all night long, but I do want to touch on Caring Hands. That's a branch of our company that we care a lot about, that we believe is the heart of our company. And you chose to go on a Caring Hands trip. So I want to hear a little bit about that experience. Tell us what it meant to go down to Chiapas, Mexico.
Oof, man. Going to Chiapas, you know how they say you haven't experienced Kyani until you've gone to an ILA, an international.
Yeah.
You haven't experienced life until you've gone on a Caring Hands trip. It is unbelievable that, we see the potato packs. We talk about the potato packs. We donate the potato packs. We donate the scholarship packs. But when you actually go and see what it's doing, and you know what it's doing? As we came there and we're building the schools, the children from the town that weren't even in school, and the parents all gathered around, peeking through the windows, because there was opportunity being created for them. And I know probably everyone on this call didn't like school when we were in elementary school, but with them having this there, they all wanted to be in school. And I turned to Patty and I said, what if one of these kids is the next president? What if one of these kids is the next somebody, that comes out of somebody? And this was the opportunity that all the work that everybody does, and, with the Caring Hands and the potato packs and how we do in Kyani, that it gives them the opportunity to do that. So knowing that, one day that's going to come through, and seeing people actually graduate, and it's literally like going back 100 years. I wish I spoke the language. I do encourage, if anyone plans on going next year, to start taking classes now, because that was one thing that I think I could have came back with a lot more if I understood and spoke the language as much. Yeah.
Now, Patty, you speak the language. What was your experience?
It was very, it was very touching for me, because it's my country. I was born in Mexico, and going back to give back to my own country was pretty amazing. I thought I was going there to help. Little did I know that I was going to come back with a heart full of gratitude for what we have here. Sometimes we take for granted, the necessities and the good roads that we have in the schools and all of these things.
The roads.
My kids complain about going to school, and they have cars that can drive themselves to school, and these kids are walking an hour and a half one way just to get to school. We saw mothers down the road collecting water out of pipes and carrying them back to their villages because there's no running water. In some places they didn't have electricity. But one thing that really struck me was how happy these kids were when we got there, and how they welcomed us and how they loved on us, and they were hugging us and just so grateful because they don't know better, right? We feel bad for them, and we're like, but they're happy, and they're happy for anything that they can get. So for me, that was amazing, getting to spend time with the kids and getting to know them, and I could speak the language, even though down in Chiapas, Mexico, they do not speak, most of them don't speak Spanish. They speak other dialects. So I was even having a hard time speaking with them and with a lot of the adults. But my favorite part of the trip, and I think what I got the most out of the trip, was spending time with Mr. Hansen. And one of the things that really stood out to me the most is that Mr. Hansen worked harder than any of us. It was about 30 plus people that went on this trip, and he never stopped. He worked, and his kids and his wife. Yeah. He worked. He was carrying, concrete up a hill and pouring concrete and not stopping. And for me, that really showed me that that the speed of the leader is he was leading all of us. He was working hard. We were trying to keep up with him the entire time. If he's working, I shouldn't be standing around. I should be working. So he created that for us so that we can all work. And that really said a lot to me about him, about his work ethic, about where he's taking this company. It really opened up my mind and kind of gave me that testimonial that I needed to know when I was there, that this is Kyani is forever. He's not stopping until he reaches those goals, and we have to take advantage of that, and we can't let him down in our team that has worked so hard. So we came back and we put our heads together and we said, you know what, we only have about 1 week left in the month, but we can make this happen. Let's go diamond. Because Mr. Hansen, when we were there.
Yeah, he said, I want diamonds in Arizona. So, I mean, when the man asked, I want diamonds, it's like, yes, sir. and it's just the support, and going on the Caring Hands trip really came back with a fire under us as well.
Yeah. So you guys hit diamond in a month where you were really out of pocket for a week out of that month.
8 days.
Which shows that you have an incredible team. You've created a great team that can press forward as you're gone. Last question, because we're running out of time here, but you've got people on this call who are brand new. You've got people on this call who have been with Kyani for a long time. Some have had great success, some maybe not as much yet. What's your advice to anyone on this call, looking at your own journey, looking at what you've done? What's your advice for someone to really get to that next level of where they might want to be?
It's the basics, of course, following the systems, reaching up, doing all the things that we teach every day. But you know what, truly, if you want to get to the next level, it's got to come from the heart. You got to want it more than anything. You got to be that, you got to be so hungry that you'll do anything for it. Imagine yourself when you're younger, you want to buy a car, there's something out of reach. Somehow we figure it out. This isn't any different. This is the same thing. If you really want it, you can have it. It's up, we're in business for ourselves here, right? In a way we are, but we're never alone. But it's up to you to make sure that you reach up, you call out, you get your team together, you rally with your team, you care about your team, you be a team player, and then teamwork comes in. There's a reason why they call it team and work. You need a team and you all need to work, and everything comes together. I mean, you just have to, a lot of times some people think, oh, it's because you're here or you're there or you're in this line. We could have said the same thing for the longest time, but we didn't. We just kept working. Our focus kept staying forward. We looked in the windshield, not in the rearview mirror. It doesn't matter about our, if we had bad months. I lost 2 very close family members, but the best thing about it is I wasn't losing money when I stepped away. It was still coming in, and it showed me that this is a great foundation where I need to be.
And
absolutely.
Always have that, have your why you're doing this very close to you. I always tell everyone that comes into the business, know your why, but feel it. Don't just say it. Don't just, write it on our launch document or say it once. Keep it very, very real and close to your heart, because that's what's going to drive you every single day. Whatever your goals, whatever your dreams, whatever it is that you want for your family, don't ever forget those, because there are good days and there are bad days, and life happens. But I love that we have the amazing support that we have here, and it's long-term vision for us. I mean, we are here. We're not going anywhere. This is just one stop for us. And I love our amazing team. And I just want to say one more thing about that. This promotion would have not happened if it wasn't for our amazing team that was working with us side by side. For the last 2 or 3 nights that we were on our diamond run, we had so many promotions because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And every single person that wanted a promotion was here with us in this office. We had like 20, 30 people working alongside with us, cheering us on. What do you need? What does this person need? And it was so amazing to see that kind of support, that kind of team that we have. So, stay close to your team, love on them, stay close to the fire, support your whoever is reaching a goal. It's so much more fun doing it together than doing it alone. So I appreciate every single person that helped us, have a win, a big win for Arizona. We needed a diamond out here, and I'm just glad that it's for the team. This promotion is for them, so they can have more proof that this works. So we're super, super excited.
Yeah, and one last thing to get in it is for the new people, especially, if you guys really want success, make sure you go to the international convention. Make sure you go to the events, because if we didn't go to the events, we wouldn't have the success. I can promise you that right now. So you want success, go to the events. 100%.
Great point. I can't emphasize that more. The events are absolutely incredible, and that's where leaders are born. So congratulations. You guys are getting a lot of love in the comments over here. Well-deserved love. A lot of people thanking you, and it's really fun to see. You deserve it all. You've worked incredibly hard for it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night. Thank you for all that you've done. I cannot wait to see you guys in Salt Lake City and to recognize you on stage as diamonds. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking us to be here today. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. We appreciate you guys. Thanks everyone for being on. We appreciate all of you. Have a fantastic night. We'll see you all very soon. Bye everyone.